Tzadikim, Shar Hakina'ah, the gate of envy. Okay. The sages tell us, Urkav Atzamot Kin'ah. It says in Mishlei, King Solomon says, the rottenness of the bones is envy. What causes a person's bones to rot? If he has jealousy. And if you don't have jealousy, so then you don't rot in the grave, your body doesn't disintegrate, the worms have no power over you. You should know, the Gemara says that the people in the grave, they feel the pain of the worms and the disintegrating. That's part of the judgment also. Tzadikim don't have to suffer that judgment because they're righteous. And what does it mean they're righteous? Specifically, they're not jealous. The person who has jealousy, that's what causes him to disintegrate. Yeah. He should not say, person should not say, Echmod be'enei chaveri ve'iten lo ma'od avor oto inyan, she'im en da'ato limkor inyanav, az asul lo laze lachtziro, ki ze yitbayesh la'ashi p'nei rakam, im ken arei ze keones. So what happens? A person shouldn't say, I can desire what my friends want, what my friends have, and I'll just buy it for them, I'll offer him money. And then what happens when the friend doesn't want to sell him what he owns? It's forbidden to plead with him to do so, because then he's going to be ashamed to refuse you and you're forcing him. So what happens? This happens a lot. Your friend has something you like. So what do? You say, listen, I'm jealous of him. I'll go to him and I'll tell him, listen, how much? He says, listen, it's not for sale. He says, are you serious? I need this. I'm your friend. And this is how you treat me? There's people who are experts at this. There's people who know how to come to you and they say, listen, I'm your friend. This is how you treat a friend? You're going to do me like that? So he guilts you, and then you say, you know what, okay, chai, here, I'll sell it to you. But really, he didn't want to sell it to you. So what happened? It's like you forced him. It's like you did highway robbery to him. That's why the Torah says, lo tachmod. What does lo tachmod mean? Do not covet. So the poskim say, when do you transgress lo tachmod? When your friend tells you, no, it's not for sale, and you keep pushing him to sell it to you, in the end, he gives in. Especially when you're a person who is very distinguished. Let's say you're a very honorable person in the community, and a person feels embarrassed to say no to you. And you use your control, you use your power, you use your status to force the guy to do something for you because you know he's embarrassed from you, but he really doesn't want to do it. So that's also, it's a sur to do that. Why? Because he's not doing it full-heartedly. What does the Gemara say? That a person, when he asks somebody for food, you always have to ask him if he has enough for himself. A person who asks food for somebody who doesn't even have enough for himself, it's considered stealing, the Gemara says. So why did he give me? He only gave you because he's embarrassed to say no to you. But really, your guy comes to school, he comes to work with gum. Everybody says, can I have a piece, can I have a piece, can I have a piece, can I have a piece? In the end, he has one piece left for himself. He bought a whole pack of gum for what? In the end, he has nothing for himself. That's considered like stealing. Mashal, there was a king meant a desirer and an envier. They walked on the same road, and he said to them, let one of you ask for something, and it will be given to him. And the other will get twice as much. So the guy was chomed, the guy who had desires, and the guy who had envy. They got to offer like this. Whatever you guys want, I'll give you, but you should know the other guy gets double. So what do they say? The envier didn't want to ask first, because he was envying his friend who was going to get a double portion. And the desirer also desired the double portion. So the desire pressed the envier to ask first. He pushed the envier, the guy who has jealousy. You have to ask first. And what did he say? He said, please, Mr. King, take one of my eyes out. That way, what does his friend get? Double portion. He loses both of his eyes. And the envier was happy. I have one eye, but he has no eyes. I'd rather that than have... If I would ask for money, my friend's going to get double. I don't want him to have double. So I'd rather lose an eye. That way my friend loses both. So look how many evils can come from Kina. Look what happened to Adam and then Nahash from jealousy. Look what happened to Cain from jealousy. What happened to Korach from jealousy. What happened to Bil'am from jealousy. Doeg, Achitophel, right? Achitophel, he had envy of David, King David. He wanted to take the kingdom from him. You have Gechazeh. Gechazeh was jealous of Naaman's money. You have Adoniah. Adoniah wanted Avishag to marry him and not Shlomo. He was jealous of the wife. Avshalom, he wanted to take the throne from David. Uzayahu, he was envious of the Kohanim. He was not a Kohen. He tried to give Ketoret. He got leprosy for 25 years for trying to give Ketoret in the Beit HaMikdash. Look at all these people, how much they lost and fell from jealousy. That's like one. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And the Gemara says, "Sota, whatever somebody's jealous, and you want what somebody else has, not only you don't get what he has, you also lose what you have." So therefore, a person has to learn from all this. What does he gain from this jealousy? There's no point in having it. Great reward is the one who has emunah, and great suffering is the one who has envy. But who you should have envy about? Who should you be jealous about? The envy of scribes, scholars, increases wisdom. If you see somebody else learning, wow, he learns all day, I should do the same thing. He learns in the morning and the evening, I only learn in the morning, I should also learn in the evening. Wow, I'm jealous of him. If you see even a bad person, but he has a good trait, let's say guy is Rasha, but he has such a good achnasat orchim. You never see a person like this in your life who gives achnasat orchim like him. Wow, I should learn from him. I'm jealous of his achnasat orchim, right? And a person has to not envy what his neighbor has physically. He has to envy what his friend has, his neighbor has spiritually. And a person should always honor those who occupy themselves with the mitzvot, and that way people will get envious of them. What happens? There's on Shulchan Aruch, there's laws like Kvod Harav, right? There's laws of honoring the people who study the Torah. People are foolish sometimes, the Gemara says. They respect the Torah, they get up for it when it comes out, but they don't respect the rabbis, right? Who are walking Sifrei Torah. And what's the reason when you honor the rabbis, you get up for them, when you have whoever gives them a gift, it's as if he gave bikurim, right? When you have to marry off your children, you should marry after them first. You have business, you should do business with them first. Why all these halachot? In order for us to cause other people to see, look how much honor these people get. Why? Because this is what we were trying to be. This is who we should look up to. This is who we should be jealous of. And that way, a person will try to have always his eyes and his efforts to become like those tzadikim. A person should always utilize all of his envy for the sake of heaven. If he builds a house, let him build in a room for Torah study. Let his house be a meeting place for sages, a place for engaging kindness to others. Pirkei Avot says, let the poor people be the members of your household. The poor people should always be in your house, right? And Abraham was not envious. How would he acquire Shamayim V'Aretz? And when was he envious? He asked Melchizedek, how did you get out of the ark? He said, B'zchut tzedakah. Abraham said, what tzedakah did you do in the ark? He says, the animals. We didn't sleep at night because we had to feed the animals round the clock. He says, look, if they didn't do charity with the animals, there would be nothing left on from those people, from those animals. So how much more so we should do tzedakah with people. So Abraham was jealous of Melchizedek, of Shem, so therefore he did tzedakah with actual humans, and he had planted that tree. He had a tent with four doors, in order everybody should be able to come into his house. And therefore, a person should learn, take the good and leave behind the bad. Baruch Na'olam. Amen.